Climbing Kilimanjaro. The biggest challenge may be getting there. The trip starts with a 7.5-hour overnight flight from New York to London. Then there's a 12-hour layover in London. Gives us a chance to tour the city. Another overnight flight, 9 hours this time, gets us from London to Nairobi. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we arrive in Africa, only to face a 5.5-hour drive from Nairobi, Kenya to Moshi, Tanzania.
I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words.
After 55 hours of travel, we finally reach our new home in Africa, and we get our first glimpse of Mt Kilimanjaro. It's time to move into our private huts.
This is our motel room at the Keys Hotel. There's Dave. And there's Scott. Let's see what's going on in here. This is our room. Quite luxurious. Thatched room.
Because you stand in this little hole and you hold this.
This is our towel. We share. Everybody shares the towel. This is our gear. Getting ready for the mountain. Hey boys.
Hi.
Hi, are we on video?
Make sure we have everything.
We're having a great time.
Oh, y'all are much better off than we are.
What?
How's that?
Well, I mean, you look like you're more packed than we are. We still have stuff spread out all over the place.
I'll probably be packing all day.
We get a free day to rest, so we decide to tour Moshi.
We see the town of Moshi. And a good old time.
Dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become.
After the tour, we relax at our huts and then head off to a very serious team meeting.
How much stuff do you have in your bag as far as work?
I've got.
It's climb day and time to get ourselves organized.
Okay.
Oh.
We bounce along for an hour on our way to the start of the climb. Our team of 13 climbers employs 24 porters and 3 guides.
Here we are at the Machame Gate entrance.
But I thought you'd be wearing a lot of this stuff.
There's our guide, Eric Simonson, booking us in.
Our first day is a real challenge. We hike for 5 hours while climbing more than 4,500 feet.
The Machame Trail.
Jumbo, habari.
Jumbo. Hey guys, Jumbo.
Morning. Morning. Where are you guys headed?
Up the mountain.
Oh, is this the way to, where are we going?
Here comes my duffel bag.
are coming up through the jungle. We're about 1,000 feet above where we started. Jungle character's changed quite a bit.
So the elevation here is about 7,000 feet, a little more.
Our lead porter is John of the Chaga tribe, Wana John as we know him.
About 10,000 feet right now.
It's a rugged, muddy walk.
Yeah, it started raining on us right at the end. Just as we were setting up camp.
The porters supply us with hot tea to take off the chill and then make preparations for cooking dinner. As we dine in style, the end of our first day approaches.
Hey there.
Breakfast time.
The summit is 15 miles away and over 9,000 feet above us. Although day 2 is a relatively short day, the increasing altitude slows our pace.
Slow motion. Poly-poly.
Poly-poly. Slowly, slowly. Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Climbing through heather and moorlands, we crossed 2 dry river gorges today. Wana John and a fellow porter take a break at 12,000 feet. We enter the heath zone where bearded lichen covers the trees. Giant ground cells appear, only found on the mountains of East Africa. They can reach up to 12 feet in height. Giant lobella, also unique to East Africa, can grow to 10 feet tall. We reached Sierra Camp in the early afternoon. The porters set up their camp. They'll spend the night in the lava cave. Jill, that's me, begins to show signs of not feeling well. Mt Meru provides a spectacular end to our second day.
See me, Americans.
Here's our frost-covered tent.
The day begins at a frigid 24 degrees. By 8 o'clock, it's t-shirt weather. Day 3 is spent acclimatizing to altitude. It begins and ends at about 13,000 feet. However, much of our time is spent hiking at altitudes as high as 14,500 feet.
We are, maybe 13.4 on day 3. Coming up a nice volcanic ridge.
It's the next break.
Wait till we stop.
And there they go.
Having fun now.
As we approach 14,000 feet, we begin to cross desolate highland desert. Descending toward camp, we return to the moorlands.
It got real froggy coming down too. I mean, you could barely see from one cairn to the next.
That's right.
This can go away anytime.
Cairn. Let's call them cairns.
Cairns?
What are they called?
Cairns, that's southern for cairn.
Yeah, that's right.
God, we took so many pictures up there.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's some neat stuff up there,
Yeah.
especially with this fog.
We went and got water.
Hi, guys.
Hey, John.
Too bad it wasn't clear. This last little patch on here, about
gorgeous.
200 meters up the hill, all those little ground sills. And
Right.
if it clears, we're gonna have to scamper back up there and take some
I hope so.
pictures.
I smell like the apple. It's because I stood by the fire last night. I know that's why. This is a truly incredible smell. It's awful. Okay, Dave said, Eric said we were up to 14.5. We're down to 13 now. Joel, how do you feel today?
I feel great today.
Do you? Good.
Actually, he's lying to you. But he wants to look good on film.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? How do you feel?
Okay, I had a mild headache, but now I'm pretty good.
Doesn't take long.
But better today than yesterday.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better.
This is a significant improvement from
Yeah,
what
he
you
does
rolled
look a
into
lot
camp
better.
yesterday afternoon, I'll tell you.
For sure.
Well, I've ripped my feet up so many times.
You look like you're doing okay, Dave.
I'm
John.
doing good. I just want to go back up the hill here and
I saw Juana John carry Big John's back today.
Look at those things.
Is that right?
With other shelter already occupied, our porters are forced to spend the night tucked against a boulder.
A little bit. Now I can understand when the people in the books are talking about laying in tents for days. Sick. I could lay here easily for days.
Wasn't it that when I was at Whitney and I took Decadron and I felt fine. So let me give you a couple of Decadrons. You want to take one maybe before you go to bed tonight. By tomorrow you really should feel pretty good.
Unfortunately, during the night, Jill's condition continues to worsen. By morning, she knows she must leave the mountain.
There's our tent. Jill's in there changing into some cooler clothes. It's going to be a hot day. She caught a virus. And high altitude is no place for sick people.
As Dave looks on, Jill reviews her descent route with Eric. Accompanied by 2 porters, she will descend 7,800 feet, covering 11 miles in 7 hours. Once she reaches the bottom of the mountain, she will need to find transportation to the Keys Hotel, over 12 miles away.
As I descend the mountain, the team makes preparations for day 4. Another acclimatization day, the team will hike for only 3 miles at an altitude of 13,500 feet. First, however, they must climb the Bronco Wall.
Up the breach wall. Yeah, you could not see this trail across the wall.
The climb of the Barranco Wall is classified as a non-technical scramble, but it does have its share of scary spots. Reaching the top takes nearly 2 hours.
Whew, pretty interesting.
The team will now spend the rest of this short day hiking at around 13,500 feet through moorlands and highland desert. The Karonga Valley campsite lies at the bottom of a dry river gorge. The dining room, however, sits in a rock alcove over 200 feet above the camp, making mealtimes a bit of a challenge. Fortunately, the dining room comes with spectacular views and offers a great place to hang out.
Those kind of articles so they can get some sponsorship. Okay, dessert soup. Most of the articles are well, not a portrait. I'm supposed to be signing a drink. The magazine started out in very small, then they couldn't make it. Doing those kind of articles so they can get some sponsorship.
Jill, I hope you made it back okay. God, you were sick. I just hope that we're both going to be home sitting in your living room watching this and laughing. The breach wall wasn't that bad. It was really rather interesting. You would have liked it. I liked it.
The team prepares for day 5. The past 3 days have been spent acclimatizing, sleeping at around 13,000 feet while hiking at around 14,000 feet. Today begins the ascent of the summit cone. A steady and aggressive increase in altitude will continue from this point until the summit is reached.
One more day.
Yep, tonight we go for the summit. Around a little over 13,000 feet here. Going up to about 15,500 to the high camp. Joel, Denny, and John, Scott.
Encountering the first snow signals entry into alpine desert.
Just came from over there, through the valley, up a pretty steep hill. Taking a break here, kind of a junction intersection.
Liven up the picture. This is a barren landscape.
Hey Denny, smile for the camera.
Hey, what's happening?
Scott.
All right.
Cheers.
Shoot.
All right, hey guys.
The climb continues steeply upward, with increasing altitude being felt by everyone.
So we're just going to rest here until about midnight. At midnight we're going to get up, start hitting the trail about 1 o'clock, I think, 1 in the morning.
plan for the rest of the day. Our mission for the next 6 hours or so is to get ready for the climb. We need to get ready in a couple different ways. We need to rest. We need to feed ourselves. We need to keep hydrating ourselves. We need to get packed up. And then ultimately we'll probably sleep a little bit. And we'll get up real early, middle of the night, and get this thing on the road. So up to this point, we've all been kind of climbing at our own pace and stuff like that. Tomorrow we're going to climb, I said nose to butt earlier in the trip. Maybe not quite nose to butt.
I've been wanting this far into the trip.
We're going to climb close together. That way we're going to drive a psychological advantage, all right? That group momentum is just going to pull us along. The name of the game tomorrow is going to be unhurried haste. In other words, efficiency. All right, our climb tomorrow won't be fast. We'll be moving at a nice steady rest step all day, but it is going to be imperative that everybody do their best to be efficient. And that means, in particular, at the rest breaks. At the rest breaks, boom, you get there first thing, take off your pack, put on a warm coat so you don't get cold, get something to eat, get something to drink, sit down, sit on your pack so your butt doesn't get cold, and rest. And then when we're ready to go, boom, everything back in the pack and we're up and we're ready. We don't want to be standing around waiting for one person that just is behind the curve. It'll be cold tomorrow. The breaks won't be long. We'll take, 5-10 minute breaks, and you don't do a whole hell of a lot of resting at 18,000 feet anyway. Mainly these breaks are just a chance to eat and drink and do things like that we can't do while we're walking. So.
The starlight on Kilimanjaro is so brilliant that it casts shadows as though there were a full moon in the sky. As planned, the team crawls out of their tents at midnight and prepares to climb 4,000 vertical feet to the summit. Departing at 1 a.m., nose to butt, climbing by the light of their headlamps, everyone struggles with the steep, rocky terrain, frigid temperatures, and lack of oxygen. Finally, after grinding upward in the dark for 5 hours, twilight breaks the monotony. Sunrise lifts everyone's spirits and brings a welcome end to the bone-chilling cold. Trailing behind the others, the final 2 team members, accompanied by 2 porter guides, come into view.
Okay. That's our guide. All right.
After 6 hours of non-stop climbing, the team gets a much-needed break at Stella Point on the crater rim. Here they regroup along with their 3 porter guides. The team reached Stella Point by climbing over 3,500 feet above Barafu Hut. Although the distance covered was only 2 miles, the climb took 6 hours. Now they must follow the crater rim for another mile, while climbing the final 600 feet to the summit. This easy stroll at 19,000 feet takes about an hour. At 9 a.m., the summit is reached. Time to celebrate.
He did. Thanks, man. Which one? Where'd you go, Lisa? Are you gonna shoot it? Sorry,
I'm gonna let this mile without sitting up here.
Hey, Lisa, walk over by the side. Just keep going, Lisa.
Shutter release is that button.
Lisa, you don't want to get over by the side? I can't.
Well, you guys are getting ready. I'm going to just you and Scott and me, and then we'll come back and get the rest.
Okay, that's good.
At around 10 a.m., after spending about an hour on top, it's time to begin a 10-mile, 6-hour descent of the mountain. In total, the team hikes 13 miles this day, starting at 1 a.m. and finishing at 4 p.m. They ascend 4,000 feet and then descend more than 7,100 feet. Making a rapid descent, the team skis downhill on loose pumice. At the Kibo Hut, it's time for a break and a cola. Kibo Hut sits at virtually the same altitude at which the day began. To reach Kibo, the team backtracked along the crater rim from the summit to Gilman's Point, a little over a mile's hike. At Gilman's, they turned steeply down the mountain, dropping nearly 3,900 feet to the hut. Crossing the lunar desert saddle between Kibo and Mwenzi Summit, the Harambo huts come into sight. This will be the final camp on Kilimanjaro.
That Harambo hut, actually kind of a mini village. Huts over there for porters. Here's our tents. Here comes Lisa with a soda. This place sells sodas and beers.
As this long day draws to an end, Mwenzi Summit, at nearly 16,900 feet, provides a spectacular backdrop. The final day on the mountain involves a 12-mile downhill hike with over 6,000 feet of descent. Arriving at Mandara Huts around 11, the team takes a long break and enjoys some refreshment. Back in Rainforest, the end of the journey is finally reached. Here, team members receive their official summit certificate. Our porters receive their tips and a handshake from Eric. After 7 days, 47 miles of trekking, 14,000 feet of ascent, and 13,300 feet of descent, the climbers and porters gather for a final group shot. Time to bid farewell to Kilimanjaro.